Go ahead and try this ACT Science question. What I didn't tell you before introducing this question is I left out a little information from what you would have been given on the real ACT section from which this is sourced. There was some definitional stuff in terms of what is going on in this experiment, what these terms mean, but the reason why I left them out is to make a point, and the point is in the title of this video, and it's something I preach everywhere when it comes especially to ACT Science and ACT reading, and that is do the specific questions first. You do not need to know everything in the experiment most of the time to answer specific questions like this. Very often, particularly when the questions just reference a table or a figure, you can go right to that table or figure, find the answer directly, maybe using a little bit of inferring, but you're not going to need to know everything to answer it. And here's a perfect case. Most likely, if you got this one right, you got it right because you made a good judgment on the information in the table, using your intuition, scientific knowledge, whatever. So let's take a look at this. Based on the data presented in Table 1, which of the following bacteria growing in glucose broth took the longest time to double its population? We look at our table, we've got bacteria, we've got the different medium, the different media, the growth media, I guess, right? Glucose broth, milk, etc. Temperatures, and then generation time in minutes. So notice nothing here says anything about doubling population, but we do have the word time, which matches up with the time in the question. So most likely, this generation time has something to do with this time it takes for it to double, right? So what first thing we'll do before we start worrying about that is let's look at these choices. So we've got Pseudomonas. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing these. So we have this one. We have the Staph aureus, this one. We've got Strepto. This one. And then we have Xanth, blah, blah, blah. So we look at our 4 values in this column, and we see that 74 is quite obviously the largest number here. The question is that the one that would be the longest amount of time to double its population? Again, outside of the context, without knowing what else is in the passage, it seems reasonable to assume that 74, given that it's the longest time, the longest generation time, would probably have something to do with the longest time it would take to double its population. So we would probably end up going with D, and D is the answer. And in a second, I will show you the rest of the passage so you can see the confirmation of what generation time is. But let's say for a minute, let's say you weren't comfortable making that choice. I mean, if you think about it, you only have one other possible choice, and that would be the one that's the lowest. Right? Because think about it. How could the answer be a number in the middle, in between 30, which is the lowest, and 74, which is the highest, if we're looking for the longest time to double its population? It just doesn't make sense why you'd have a number in the middle rather than a number on the extremes that would be the longest time. It just doesn't make sense. So at the very least, we could get rid of B and C here. And then you have to make the choice. Is the number that's the smallest the one that's going to be the longest time, or the one that's the biggest going to be the one that's the longest time? I think most people are going to pick the one that's the longest, or the one that's the biggest being the longest time. So here's just a case where we can do this one without having read the entire experiment, without having read all the other figures. We can do this because it's very specific and very focused. And this is why I want you to focus on specific questions first. Those big, general, broad questions about the experiment as a whole, experimental design, leave those until the end, until you have a better grasp on the experiment by doing these specific questions. Let me go ahead and show you that excerpt that defines generation time. So here we have it. Bacteria reproduce by a process in which a single cell divides into 2 cells. The average time required for bacteria to divide and their population to double is called the generation time. So it's not very hard, really, to just skim the passage. This was a pretty short passage overall, and find that and confirm it. But again, the point I'm making is you usually will have enough information in the tables, in the figures, in the charts to answer questions, or at least get down to a choice out of 2. Then, if you have to, go back and read what you need. But that's the key. Read what you need when you need it. Read on demand, essentially. Just-in-time reading, we'll call it. And that's what you want to do so that you maximize your efficiency and your user time as best you can. To learn more about Reason Prep's SAT, SAT subject test, and ACT video courses, go to reasonprep.com/enroll, and you can find the link in the description below the video.